that it gave her something to focus on besides the breakup. Because breakups are not easy. She just wanted to focus her energy on something else. I swear this won't turn into 10 minutes of me putting on concealer. Out from the army. So then he moves back home with his mom. And at this point, he's now 32. So he was in the army for a while. So Armin moves back home with his mom. At this point, she's older now. She's ill. She really can't do much for herself any longer. Not that it's from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like she really did anything on her. Freed. She was 20 years old. She was described as a leader with a sense of humor and a heart of gold. Then we have Daniel Davis. He's 16 years old. He was described as a talented photographer who made loved ones smile. We have Mark Flemings, also 16. He was described as friendly, selfless, with a good sense of style. Ruth Shelton, she was 17 years old. Some articles I read said that she was 18 years old, so 17 or 18. She was described as creative, honest, and kind, and with a love for music. The 911 operator asks what kind of services he needs, and he says he needs an ambulance. He states to the 911 dispatcher that he believes an intruder has entered the home and that their guest has been stabbed. If you listen to the 911 call, he does sound panic. So at this point, it was about 11 o'clock at night, okay? He lays in bed and he starts watching TV, but Victor, the boyfriend, he asks Joe to turn off the TV because he just wanted to go to sleep and it was like distracting or it was too loud or something. To it, you can use it as a touch-up foundation all over the face, but I really like it for my under eye, and it's such a thin formula that it doesn't like get super cakey looking. It's nice, it covers nicely. The lieutenant radioed dispatchers to say he was following 3 men into a heavily wooded area. He said 2 of the men were white, 1 was African American. They were up to no good. They ended up taking off on foot, running into this like wooded area, and they were headed towards the lake. I'm sorry, the swamp, not a lake. So then Charles radios in officer down, and he requested for all units to come. Make him feel like crap about his job. I mean, nothing was ever good enough for her. So she would do a lot of belittling. She would attack, not physically, it was more emotionally and verbally. When she had Edmund, her son, she would refuse to coddle her son in fear that she would turn him, quote, turn him gay, end quote, would be posting. So as summer 2009 was coming to a close, her behaviors became more erratic and a little difficult to track. She started to withdraw more, like from friends and from family. In text messages, Matrice would not make any sense. Like her sentences would be disjointed, and they didn't appear to be connected to like any particular topic. Her explanations for her behavior, it made even less sense. On one occasion, Matrice's mother, Letice, she had texted her asking her daughter like, hey, what's going on? Matrice responded with a text message that said, quote, I'm writing a book because you told me I can be anything I wanted. You told me I was Miss America. You told me I was America's Next Top Model. Now do you know what I want to be when I grow up? Miss Mother Nature. Because Miss America is fake ass joke. So I'm trying to find my way to Michelle Obama to see if she will talk to Mr. Obama about creating my position within the White House. End quote. So this is, oh yeah, his dad's like, go live with your grandmother, okay? Because I just can't take you anymore. Do you blame him? No. Well, now his grandmother was the only family member who showed any love and affection towards Jeffrey. He loved his grandma. And when he went to go live with her, because he did, it did help him change things up a bit, and he seemed a little bit more happier. He would attend church with his grandma. He would help around the house on things like she couldn't really do. And he even found a job at the Milwaukee Blood Plasma Center. Fitting. But it seemed like he was doing better, and he was able to keep that job for 10 months, but then he got laid off. Then he remained unemployed for 2 years. By late 1985, he had begun to visit local gay bathhouses. When going to these bathhouses, he would have sex with different men. Okay, so who is this Sante and Kenny Kimes that David Caston's daughter had mentioned? Well, David Caston, take a shot every time I say it, I guess. He had known Sante and Kenny Kimes and their family for many, many years. David had been friends with millionaire Ken Kimes Sr., since 1974. Then David had worked on an insurance claim for the family when Ken Kimes Sr. passed away, when Lawrence saved him from being attacked by fellow inmates on at least 2 occasions. So after that, they became pretty close. And what do close friends do? They sit around and gossip with one another and they tell each other secrets. And that's what they did. When they became friends, they started to discover that they had common interests. Norris also confided in Lawrence that the thing that really turned him on, he's like, let me tell you, girl. The thing that really turns me on, he loved seeing the face of frightened young women. And then he added, this was the primary reason why he had such a lengthy sexual assault record. Which is weird because at this point when he was arrested, he didn't have a lengthy sexual assault record. So there's reason to believe that he's hiding a lot of shit he did. That was just a side note, but okay. So then Lawrence follows that and tells Norris that if he ever raped a woman, he would kill her. So, he would not leave a witness to the crime. And Norris was like, oh my God, wow, that's so cool. Wow, you're so cool. Now, when the two were alone, it's said that the pair often discussed plans to assault and murder teenage girls once they were freed. You see, they shared this fantasy, which then evolved into an elaborate plan to murder one girl of each teenage year. So from 13 all the way to 19, they wanted to find a girl of every age between then and murder them. Set better goals. The pair vowed to become reacquainted once they were released. When Grant's parents would refuse to give him money, he would ask his brother Cody, who again was the older brother, and oftentimes Cody would give him money for anything that he needed. So pretty much everybody was quote unquote taking care of Grant while he was trying to find a job. Now Grant spent a lot of his time on his computer or gaming, and he was home all the time with nothing to do because he didn't have a job. So what's a lonely person looking for some sweet lovin' gonna do, Well, he found his way to a website called myfreecam.com. Not sponsored. It was an X-rated website where you could chat with or even just view different cam girls and pay for one-on-one video, sex chat, boom kind of website. Now, if you don't know what a cam girl website is, that's a great question. A cam girl website is where women, even men too, don't get me wrong, can go on there and you can just be all sexy and and then people can pay you to chat with you, and it's really up to the cam girl or guy how far they want to go, whether it be some sexual stuff or if it's just more PG-13. It's all up to them, but it can get way more X-rated, as they say. So Grant is on there, right? When he's looking around, he finds this woman. She's a cam model and her name is Sylvie, and she's from Bulgaria. Sylvie. Now, Grant fell in love with Sylvie, okay? She was beautiful. She was smart. Plus, she would make him feel special. Now, Grant would keep coming back to see Sylvie on the website. They would talk for hours, and Grant just felt like he was truly in an intimate relationship with this woman, Sylvie. He told Sylvie that he was a very successful professional gamer and that he drove a fancy BMW, and he was living in his own apartment, creating a new persona for himself online. I mean, why not, The internet doesn't know if you're lying or not. It was said that Grant would spend hours upon hours online watching Sylvie model and dance online. He would also get one-on-one time with Sylvie. Gary's girlfriend at the time had a sister, and she was staying in a mental hospital or institution. And in 1978, he signed his girlfriend's sister out of the mental institution where she was living. She was brought back to the home where Gary and bus. Now, Tim was actually in the back of the bus, the very, very back row. Not that that's bad or anything, but Tim was in the back, and when you're in the back of the bus, you're kind of cornered into the back. If I say back one more time. Anyway, so Vince gets on the bus and he's in the very front. So a scheduled rest stop came up and Tim stepped out so he could have a cigarette, and a lot of people got off so again they could stretch their legs, they could get snacks at the vending machine or whatever. Now when Tim got back onto the bus, he goes back to his seat. That's when Vince, he gets up from his seat and he goes to the back of the bus and sits next to the empty seat that's next to Tim. So Tim's like at a window seat, right? And then Vince is sitting next to him. There's people sitting in front of him, and then behind them is like a wall. So again, cornered.